Hi everyone, my name is Leisha Gubero, Design Advocate at Sketch, and today we will be talking about women in design. In this specific series, I will be with Alexis. Hi Alexis, how are you?
Good. How are you doing? Thank you.
I'm doing great. Thank you for being with us today. I would love to know a little bit more about you and you can present yourself to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey everyone, my name's Alexis Puchek. I am the VP of Design at a company in the United States called Hudl, but we are also a global company as well. We are a sports technology company interfacing interface, user experience, content, technology, data science, and video all together to create the best experience for athletes and coaches to give athletes the best shot that they have in their career. I've been doing this thing for 18 plus years. I love all things experience design. I am a queer woman, pronouns she, her, and it is my absolute pleasure to be here today.
Thank you so much for being part of this. One of the things that we definitely want to highlight is diversity and inclusion. So, welcome to the club. I also am part of the queer community. I'm non-binary, so I will use she and her as preferred nouns. Thank you so much for being with us. I would love to understand a little bit what are the things that actually inspire you in terms of the design industry.
Yeah, I think for me, my biggest inspiration is always, always, always the people. So, as I mentioned, I'm at a company called Hudl. I'm new there. So, I was at a company called Frog prior to that for 6 years. I've been at Hudl for 3 months now. And it has been just absolutely incredible getting to know the team and be in awe of the work that they're doing, trying to balance really complex interfaces with the needs of our customers and the expectations of the business. And honestly, getting to work with them and watch them work every day is just so inspiring and energizing to see what we can get up to together. I also like to teach in my spare time at Austin Community College, so I get to work with new and upcoming designers. And so I think everything has just always been around the people and the craft and the way in which we can all solve problems together that just really makes me want to get out of bed in the morning and do this thing every single day.
Definitely. It's funny. Sometimes designers are really focused on data, and definitely that's really important. But sometimes we forget that actually data means something because we are designing for people, for humans.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really important to have that connection, and actually that's the thing that spark creativity. I would really want to understand what key lessons you learned in your career. What things actually show you the correct path of like growing and be a leader.
Yeah, I think for me, the primary thing is really about focusing on relationships. So we are going to work with different people every single day. Some of them are going to be easy to work with. Some of them are going to be more difficult. Some of them we're making new relationships and meeting new people for the first time. And at various stages in your career and where you are in your levels of seniority, you have different obligations that you have to solve for. But if you can fundamentally double down on building strong relationships with people, getting to know them as human beings, right? Beyond just like we're working together, let's push out this product every single day and build that trust and have fun and really connect, that is only going to make everything ahead of you easier, whether that's having those super hard conversations or like trying to sell a position or get a client over on your side because you're like, this is the right thing to do for the right people. Having that trust, having that relationship, having that connection with people will make all of that easier. And then, of course, as you think about, yourself, those relationships as you continue in your career is effectively networking, right? Like that's going to help you get new jobs and meet new people and get invited to conferences or whatever it is that you're inspired and excited to do. Relationships and people will get you there.
Definitely. That remembers me that I have a couple of students that actually told me how we can explain it better to developers, like work with us. And they have a really, really like hard time to actually communicate with development. It was like, it's not the other team, it's your team. You need to
Right.
connect actually with the people and actually be one for the team because everybody is part of the design process, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about that, how's it been the biggest challenge that you face it actually?
So this one is, I was thinking about this, I'm like, is it the work? Is it new jobs? Like, is it the role? And I think what I wanted to surface is one of the biggest challenges I've had in my career is I have been one of a handful of open, out, vocal queer voices at the companies that I've worked at. And I'm seeing more and more people these days, which is absolutely incredible. But I really struggled with authenticity when I was younger, right? And how do I show up at work in the way in which I want to be represented and to be accepted? And I found that earlier in my career, there are aspects of my life that whether I was actively hiding them or I just wasn't being wholly open, was so exhausting. It took so much energy to try and like divert space over here to be like, ooh, do I talk about this or do I not talk about this? And like what's appropriate for work and what's appropriate for not work. Um, that it was just all of that time and energy spent thinking about that stuff rather than getting to know the teams and diving in and like really infusing my whole self into the company and the work. And I will say I'm super stoked. Like I've overcome that. I'm like, boom, let's do it. Here I am. Alexis is queer. And like I look like this and we're going to do this thing. And so now I'm this really loud, expressive, vocal advocate and voice wherever I go, because I don't have time to not be authentic, because I want to support other people in whatever way of support they need or they're looking for, and help be one of those voices and those representatives to be like, you can be this, you can come here, we are here, and you can grow, in seniority and feel supported in who you are. So I'm excited to say that I've overcome that challenge to some degree. There are definitely still moments where I've been like the queer representative for like the entire demographic at companies, which is not always the best approach to take. But sometimes when we need maybe that advocacy, there's someone that you can go to, which is good. But working with companies to make sure that there's never just one person as the representative, as the only, uh, as that voice. So I would say that's maybe the hardest challenge, the most personal challenge to me that I've been able to work through in my career.
I think I basically share that with you. For me, it was really hard on the beginning just to be comfortable with the things that I was waiting for an interview. Just to give you an example, and one of the things that I learned with the years, it was like this is an interview. This is an interview for me, but also for the company. So
Yeah.
where I go on interview, I just use my bow ties because I really want that they understand and know that that's my style and that's actually my authenticity.
That's the way to
So
do it. I mean, it's you interviewing them, it's them interviewing you. I mean, I've got a pompadour, I have facial piercings, I've got, hand tattoos. Like this is how I show up. And yes, I clean up really well and I'm super professional, but I'm also a really weird nerd, and all of that in between. So it works out well.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, this is a definitely like a topic that we can be hours and hours.
So true.
But definitely, thank you so much for sharing that because for me it's really important that women understand that besides is your hair because you have curly hair or besides you are really feminine or you're part of queer community, it's important to be authentic and be yourself because
Yeah.
you have a place there. Everyone has a
Yeah.
place.
And
So
everyone's on their own journey too, right? So you don't have to force it, but know that hopefully you're able to choose companies that will bring you the safe space to be your authentic self.
definitely. So, what design or tech topic do you think that people get overlooked?
Yeah, I don't know if overlooked is the right term for this, maybe, but I think that accessibility and universal design practices and principles still really have a long way to go in being wholly accepted as the baseline or the bottom line or the bare minimum, right? Like for me, I think accessibility, universal design principles make better products, period, and then make better products for all of us, period. I think that there are still a lot of directives that people are waiting for in terms of like, oh, the government is now forcing me to do this, or I'm being sued, so now I have to do this. I would love to see much more proactive acceptance of we just need to do this because it's the right thing to do So here's the investment we're going to make. Here's how we're going to get there. Here's how we're going to work with customers and the people that we're serving and not just for them. And I think that co-design, co-research is also incredibly important when we think about universal design principles, because the more that we just design for people, it's coming inherently from some sort of biased or privileged perspective. So we need to involve those communities that will help us get there in the appropriate ways.
I think one of the things that actually companies forget that is like accessibility is not the last step. It's not a patch that you put there. It's not an audit that you need to do because you're being sued. It's
Yeah.
actually part of the entire process. Like you
Yeah.
can do accessibility for content, you can do accessibility for the use of photography. Like accessibility is in each point of the design process.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is like advocates. I'm really passionate about accessibility. We
Nice.
actually always talk about like the good things, like because this is a good thing to do, and it's more than that, you know. I think to my point of view, some people tell me, oh, you sell accessibility. I'm not selling the accessibility, but you need to talk in the same way that the companies think, right? So accessibility has a lot of different benefits for companies, not only the accessibility, also the SEO, the page experience. We have a lot of different things that accessibility can actually help the company grow. And again, it's not selling, but this is a way that actually companies can understand the importance of accessibility, not only because it's good to do, and it's because good to the products.
Yeah. I mean, it's so expensive if you wait until the end, right? Like we've got a
Exactly.
40-year product. Let's put accessibility in. It's like you have to touch everything that you've done in those 40 years, most likely, to bring it up to AA or AAA, like WCAG, Web Content Accessibility Guidelines standards, right? So the more you get ahead of it, the cheaper it's going to be, let alone you're going to level up a bunch of skills from design to engineering to QA on how we keep making sure that our products are where they need to be. And then I think to your point as well, like there is a monetization to this, right? Like if we have proper SEO, if we put captions on our photos and our videos in social media, we're going to be able to engage and connect with communities and demographics of people that we might not have otherwise been able to reach because we've put up a wall that they could not access, right? So let's break down those walls and let's give all people equal opportunity to access the amazing stuff that we're making.
Definitely. So we are almost finalized our moment here, our interview, and I want to actually ask you, what do you think we need more women in design? Why we need more you and me actually in the
Yeah.
industry?
I mean, I think it's simple for me. Like diversity makes better products, period. Like I don't want to go into the way in which women think or men think or anything else because I don't know if those are actual scientific differences, but I think when you are bringing different individuals with different experiences, different perspectives, different lives lived, you will inherently make better products, services, etc. And women are part of that story.
Exactly, exactly. Anything more that you want to actually share with our audience before we go?
I think y'all are awesome. Thanks for watching, this series. Thank you for having me. You are always welcome to get in touch. I'll be on LinkedIn. I'm sure y'all will share what those handles are. But the fact that people are participating in this kind of conversation means that we're on a good path for a better world.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alexis, for with us today. And this is Woman in Design for Sketch. Thank you so much. Have a great day.